Thank you for being here. Good afternoon, good morning, I should say. Good morning. And day one, we've worked hard and a lot of stuff showed. And some guys are more ahead than others, but the competition is making everybody better. Our pace of practice, day one, was solid, but it will increase, right? Our tempo, by the way we do things, will get better. But we're demanding it and we're getting it for the most part. Of course, with day one, it's just not where it needs to be, but all in all, some positive results. I like the type of attitude that we display. You can push this team, you can push these coaches. We made sure the coaches understood that it was going to be as or more difficult for the coaches as it is going to be for the players, and that's a good thing, right? Nothing worse than a staff that doesn't push itself and push its players. So we're going to push each other. We're going to get the most out of each other, and solid day one. Looking forward to cleaning up this film and getting a meeting. So questions, please.
Coach, what do you feel like you learned about the team from the summer workout program?
That we're willing to work, which I think is critically important. That our capacity for workload, our capacity for understanding and learning systems is fairly high, and that there's potential for it to grow even more. That's exciting for a coach. To understand that, you have a bunch of guys that are willing to work, that are capable of learning, and that have no issues when you get after them. And when I say get after them in a positive way, with some juice now, it comes with intensity, but it's all in all for the good of the team and for the good of each individual.
Mario, what do you expect, like the first day?
Expect?
Yeah, do they have nerves also?
I'm not so concerned that the plays are perfect, but the way we do things have got to be at a high level. Like running on and off the field have to be full throttle. How you finish a play has to be full throttle. If it's a walkthrough, there shouldn't be a ball on the ground. You saw it happen earlier and we had to blow it up and start all over again. So the way we do things, as opposed to the result of that particular period, that particular play, is what's really important. If we're in our one-on-one drill, our 5-on-4 pass drill, and we're retracing and chasing the ball, that once that whistle is blown or once that ball is gone, that everyone puts a foot in the ground, it's a full-speed sprint to the football. Not 2 yards before it, not a yard from it, but all the way through it, so that we can get in just really good practice habits, because our practice and preparation will become our game reality.
Mario, I noticed on the roster there's no number 1, there's no number 26. Something that was on purpose, and what are you looking for a player to wear either of those numbers?
Well, number 1, you got to earn it, and it's I think some guys have asked for it, and I do not disrespect anyone in not awarding them a number, but if you're going to wear that, you better be the baddest son of a gun, on the planet, okay? And I think we have guys that can work themselves there, and if someone gets to that point, then maybe it's a consideration. 26, one person asked for it and just felt it wasn't quite the level it needed to be to wear that number the way it should be worn.
Do you think that number should be retired?
I don't know if numbers should be retired in general. They should be honored. I do believe that, because if you start retiring numbers at the University of Miami, you could retire 40-plus numbers in a hurry. And then everybody's wearing, 65, and then you got everybody pissed off at me, right? So I think you have to honor every number and every jersey that you wear. I think we'll start with that.
Anything else?
Coach, good seeing some of the injured guys that we didn't see in the spring. Good seeing those guys today.
No doubt, Chris. No doubt. You saw the spring ball at certain positions. We were very thin, and today those positions happen to be pretty thick. So you saw our racks for racks of 6, multiple rotations. We 2-spotted a couple different periods too to make sure everybody got a certain amount of reps, and it just enhances competition. It really does. And then, ironically, temporarily, we're a little bit thinner in a couple other spots, which we should be okay in a couple of weeks. But all in all, I think the guys that had to rotated with intensity, with intentionality, with purpose, and did a good job. And the guys that were a little bit thinned out, they practiced hard. They understood that maybe they had to double up a couple times to make sure that we got quality work. So that part of it was good.
And in particular, you've talked so much about improving the run game.
Yes, sir.
The individuals you have on the roster, you've got to be excited about seeing this position battle shake out in the fall.
Yeah, we are. I think it's important for us to understand the concept. A lot of us were here, right, when that running back room was just throttling people, and it was a combination of guys, and they were all a little bit different the way they ran the ball. And watching, it was great to see Don Chaney today run with full speed, right, 1s and 2s. Same thing with Rooster. Same thing with Henry Parrish. Same thing with Staz. Same thing with Travante. These guys are really talented guys. And the way that we run the ball, the way that we run our offense, the tempo with which we go with, there's going to be enough touches for the guys in that room. So we just have to keep working at the details that go with playing running back. It's not just running the ball. It's understanding how we block, right? How we protect. You know, all the things that are tied into the passing game, the distribution, and the routes that are tied into what we do in the backfield. So all in all, just a lot of progress today.
Let's do a couple more for Coach. We'll go to Giselle.
The message out there, you know, a lot of that I like to keep private because I think that's important. And I think the best part of camp is that you can have messaging and you can do things that stay in-house. A lot of it was similar to what we talked about earlier about it being the way you do things. Running off the field means running all the way out the field. Finishing a play means truly finishing a play. But you really, all these weights and all these sprints we did in the summertime, unless you know exactly what you're doing, how to do it, and why we're doing it that way, you can't put that to good use, right? So this is a time where we've cut out the outside world. There are no distractions. We can really dive into every ounce, every bit of the playbook and learn it so well that we can play to the best of our abilities. So that's obviously a huge component, and I think that has hit home. I think Inky Johnson talking to the team and his message about losing sensitivity and in no way, shape, or form letting entitlement settle into your room. And when I say the room, I'm talking about the locker room, and that includes the staff. As long as there's zero entitlement and guys are willing to work, we're always going to make progress.
Last question for Coach.
Kobe Young, how have you seen him? He didn't participate in the spring, but how has he looked? He's got good size.
Big, fast, physical, great hands, hard worker. Because like you said, he wasn't here in the spring. He joined us very late in summer conditioning, and he attacked it now. There are moments that it'd be hard for anyone, no matter if they were training hard or not, to jump into our summer program and complete those last 2 or 3 weeks. It's where you peak, right? It's the final part of it. It's the biggest challenge, and he was outstanding. So it's great to have him here. He's a quick learner, quick study. So excited for him in the future.
All right, we saw those cold rooms, I guess, and cameras on us, I guess, for guys to kind of recover quickly. I know old school came to say, what are you doing? Shouldn't be cold out there, but can you tell us just how it's used and what you think about it?
Right, well that has nothing to do with anything but recovery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The way we practice is a different level, and there are times after practice where you want to bring your core temperature down. I'd love to explain all the science that goes with it. I'm sure I would bore you guys to death, so I'm not going to do that. But it's something that we use at a couple different spots. It's really good in helping our guys recover. And the way we practice and the way we're going to practice, every ounce of recovery and every advantage of the game we're going to do. You know, we have a saying because we go really hard. It's easy to be tough with somebody else's body, right? Go hard, practice hard, go lights out, and then when it's time to shut down the engines and cool them down and recover them, do that as well.
Coach, what is the approach to your players and how they deal with social media?
Real simple. It's when you are on social media, whatever you do might be a reflection of you, but it affects all of us, right? So everything you do on there is appropriate. And you know, it's not that hard, it's not that difficult. We had a meeting yesterday on policies and procedures, and I'll go back to what Coach Johnson, Coach Erickson, my high school coach, Coach Stanislav would say. If we had to build a book this thick of policies and procedures, we probably had the wrong group of guys in the building. Okay, so responsibility, the image, you know, you're representing all of us, so you never comes off. And every action, every choice, and every decision has to be made with the you at the forefront.
Thank you very much.
Guys, thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks.